Hello, Guitar Explorers. We're here to talk about the G Minor Triad today. The notes in a G minor is G, B flat, and D. Now, if we look at it, E, F, G, that's going to be our first note in the triad. We walk up, no open strings, B, C, D. There is our next note in the minor triad, and then it's G, A, B flat. So instead of the major, which is G, B, D, we have to flatten the third, the third note of the chord is B flat. And that's our first position right there. Here was our major, here is the minor. It just looks like a bar chord. Okay, and then we're just going to move across the neck and find all the combinations of G, B flat, and D. And so we start here. That's where our G was. We're going to move that G over to the fourth string, third, and second string, and that's our next G minor triad. Sounds very different. If I'm going, it's really great when you're playing with other guitar players and you're able to play these triads and play a different voicing. Really helps blend, a group of three guitar players when you play something just a little bit different. Okay, but we're moving across the neck. We had here, here, then we're going to take the B flat. Okay, move the D over. And then the B flat with that bar right there. Now that's your G minor. The exercise is to walk across with each three notes. So you've got the four there, and then walk back up. And then walk back up. Call it Dance of the Triads. Okay? Then we're going to keep going on up to find more variations of the G minor triad. G, A, B flat. Okay? And then from D, E, F, G, there's two of them, and then from B flat, C, D. Now this voicing right here would look very much like a D minor chord that we already know down in the first position. We've just moved that up. The 8th fret, 2nd string is our root. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go find on strings 2, 3, and 4. We're just going to move the B flat over. That kind of looks like an upside down D7. However you relate to these chords, a lot of times shapes, if it reminds you of a pyramid, it'll help recall that when you're playing. Then I'm going to move this G right here. I'm just going to pick it up and move it over there. And this might be too muddy to strum as a rhythm, but if you're soloing over this G minor, you could possibly use that shape in a solo format or to set you up in a G minor scale. And then we're going to move this D right here. And then we have that's our 4. Do your Dance of the Triads song to where you're really comfortable. Okay, now we're going to continue on. B flat, C, D. So we have our D up here on the first string. We went from G to B flat. And then our D, E, F, G. So this looks like a stair step. They're just lined up with my first finger. And also we'll point out here that at this point, you can also turn that into an improv or a lead opportunity, or sweep, reverse sweep. Okay, now we're We're going to take the first finger, that's a D. We're going to move it over. This looks like an A minor chord just moved up. We're going to move that B flat over to here. So we have our bar, and then the second finger, and then we're just going to add our pinky for the G right there at the 15th fret. But for your G minor triads with the inversions, you'll want to get them across the neck, up and down the neck, and then try to use a few of these variations, like here's G minor. Now I'm just going to move it up to the 8th fret for a C minor. Back down to the 3rd for a G minor. Up to the 10th fret. Back down to the... So we changed chords on there, like following our bar chord. C minor, D minor, C minor, but I was just using the triads, and then you can arpeggiate the chord using different strumming patterns. You can make different sounds and different rhythms to go behind maybe somebody you can do the arpeggio, whereas they're strumming a solid rhythm. So this gives you, it starts beginning to open up the doors of how you can play the same chords as the next guitar player, but just a little bit different voicing, just to give it a little bit more variety and expand your playing. That is G minor triads and inversions, and we'll see you at your next lesson.